when you have a lot of crime going on in your country. This is unfair. Sometimes you bring some of your problems, we solve it. Not only Nigerians. There's nowhere there's no crime. Everywhere in the world, there's a crime. I don't know why it's only Nigerian people are using as a content. I don't understand what is going on.
Why?
Okay, this guy said the 200 billion said that the electricity. I have properties here. I'm living in South Africa.
If it's happening everywhere, why then are you embarrassed?
I'm living in South Africa.
Hold on, FBI.
It's happening everywhere, then why are you embarrassed?
The topic is not Nigeria. The topic is Africa. And then
I came up here. I had this guy talking
about He's going to say, I mean, South Africa,
hold on.
South Africa has this, has that. It's going to bring all the life.
Somebody, we allow someone to talk.
FBI, hold on, FBI. I just want to correct a few statements that you made. We are not talking about Nigeria. Your brother, my something came up here, and he was then speaking about so he came up and then he referenced a couple of things we were saying to Nigeria. We were talking about the Zimbabwean economy, our economy, Nigerian economy, so it wasn't just Nigeria. And also, FBI, we can talk about Nigeria all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You know why? Because Nigerian channels are everywhere on TikTok doing the very same thing. Do you ever go onto those platforms and tell them, do not talk about South Africa? No, you don't do that. You are on those channels. I see you, FBI, on a lot of the channels. What happened? Did you drop yourself? Come back up here. I see you on a lot of the platforms and you don't ever say anything about Nigerian platforms that are dissing South Africa. You don't ever correct them. You guys thrive on all of that rhetoric. So just relax. The topic is not about Nigeria. The topic is about the unity of Africa and how it would work, and that the countries in Africa, most of the countries in Africa are not doing well. How are they? Nobody dropped you. Come up. I want you to come up. How are those countries going to do well? And the burden that it has on South Africa. What is the responsibility of the country and its citizens and its government to better the country? And that's where we landed up with the corruption. Corruption is in South Africa, in Nigeria, and we then said that corruption is the cause of Nigeria being where it is. So you can come in and then correct that. But please do not assume that we've got nothing to talk about other than Nigerian issues. Then you can go to your own channel.
I did not say so. I did not say so.
Hold on, FBI. I'll give you a chance to speak. Then you can as well assume that South Africans, Nigerians don't have anything to talk about other than South Africans as well. You got the platform, my brother. Go ahead.
And please don't burp on the live.
Yeah. Please. It's because of you that I came up here. You lied. So, sister, the reason why, I used to follow you, we said, when I see something, I will say it the way it is. The reason why I came up here is that this 200 billion lied about Nigeria. The way people are using Nigerian name as if there's no crime in South Africa. That's why I'm against.
We did not say that. So nobody said that.
So now, if you want to balance things, sometimes you bring out your own internal affairs. We discuss it and give each other advice. Not only Nigerians. That's my point. Because everybody, every time, every here and then is Nigerian. I don't understand. In every camp, Nigerian.
And we feel the same way, FBI. We feel the same way. Everywhere we go, every Nigerian platform we go to, it's
the only people in South Africa that is full, that is 100% on South Africa.
I'm surprised FBI is fighting for Nigeria. I thought FBI is not a Nigerian. I thought he is fighting for Biafra. I'm surprised today you're defending Nigeria. Sometimes it's a bit confusing.
It's a bit confusing. These people wear so many hats, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's a bit
Look,
confusing. Yeah, I mean,
he's allowed to do what he wants to do. The thing is,
yeah, on this
Not
platform,
confusing.
on this platform, he has argued as a Biafran and said he doesn't have anything to do with Nigeria.
FBI, I don't drop people, FBI. I do not. I've never dropped anybody on my live. I do not drop people. Please do not accuse me of dropping people.
Except for me.
I didn't drop you either, Great Flows. I didn't drop you.
I'd like to know when I'm going next on the queue because I want to drop off to allow other people.
All right, IB. I think Zovi is Zovi next.
Zoven is
Zovi.
next, yes. Zoven,
Yeah,
go
Zovi.
ahead, my brother. Hey, you. I think this is the best you've ever behaved on this platform. You haven't interjected anybody. You have just been silent. Thank you. Thank you for coming and supporting their lives, Zoven. Go ahead, brother.
Happy. I'm fine, thank you. And you? Happy weekend to everyone.
Eh?
Happy weekend to everyone.
Thank you. Happy weekend to you too.
Okay. The issue here is simple. You know, Africans are suffering, and particularly is a deliberate attempt. If you watch the attack, like so many people come out here to make sure we defend because we are convinced of what we're defending. It's just that we don't want to be very, very honest. That's why at times some people we begin to misunderstand ourselves. You see, what Nigeria is suffering today is exactly where a lot of agendas, a lot of Western agendas want black people to be on earth. If you watch the role Nigeria played from 60s till down, Nigeria laid down her life for African continent to get to where we are today, even to have freedom to discuss here on internet. So, and I know too well that Nigerian, as she is today, is going to be strong again, because for you to back in such journey, you know the consequences. This thing is a deliberate attempt to make sure that the country did not survive, because if the country survived, all black race, not even only Africa, every black race has survived. So there are so many attacks from everywhere, internally and the outside. So it is not surprise to some of us who has read history and understand how this life is being run. We are not cowards, and some of us are well-bred, original African breed. Some of us are misbreed too. So when we see some of us rising up against us, we don't feel bad, but what we feel, it make us more stronger just to continue this struggle to make sure that black man is being heard and black man is going to be an equal partner. And before we can do that, we must make sure that we build this continent to be a very strong continent so that we can be able to be equal partners in the world. So if anybody coming out to cry, why is the attack on Nigeria? No, there will be attack on Nigeria. Remember, if you watch history, go to YouTube and tap all the leaders in Africa who have struggled for African freedom, African unity. You will notice that they will always refer their struggle to contribution Nigeria has made in the past. But right now, you know, a lot of us, we are not ready to go in again to make research. Or will I even say that maybe we have been indoctrinated with the type of knowledge we have acquired from Western education that made us now to forget where we're coming from and where we are today. So African unity will be possible because there are still strong breeds among us who is standing strong despite all the fight and the attack from different angles, internally and the external. But we will still prevail because of how convinced we are to push this struggle to the last conclusion. So I know too well what that my brother was trying to show me there. I know too well that a lot of things is going on in the name of Nigeria, just intentionally in order to bring the country down. But I can tell you for sure, Nigeria will still survive. Nigeria has been surviving from time immemorial till date. We will still prevail and we will still survive. And I can bet you for sure, if Nigeria has survived today, all black people all over the world have survived. They know it already. It's a threat to them. They know because they make research. They you know they naturally they were created for confusion and to cause trouble. So they know already that yes, without this confusion they are causing, the only people who can stand out to make sure that to put things right, to black people to have this natural freedom and to be equal partners is Nigerian. So that is why every attack everywhere, all these things that we are doing here and now, I can tell you for sure, some of us don't even know why we are doing what we are doing. Some of the attack we lay on Nigerians, some of the things, some of the studies and some of the line we have followed in life, just to make sure that we see the backside of Nigeria. If they ask us now why, some of us don't know. It was not as if Nigeria personally has assaulted or attacked any of us, but just that we this is where we have find ourselves, and we decided to make sure that Nigeria will bring to his knee. But I can tell you for sure, it is not going to happen. And anybody who is dreaming that, please, you can go and rest and drink your your morning tea and relax, because Nigeria is heading to somewhere. And immediately we get to that place, all black people all over the world is going to free themselves. So that is just my submission.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tishomkulu.
Okay, you said Nigeria is a threat. And I don't know who, but you're saying they are trying to bring it down because this is a threat, and if Nigeria is free, all black people in the world would be free. I think you said something like that. My question is, why Nigeria? Okay, why is Nigeria is the only one that is attacked, if I may put it like that? And also, okay, how would Nigeria being free the rest of the black men?
You know, going by how, it is very simple. Naturally,
please people answer the first question. The first question first.
What was the first one, please? Can you refer the first one? Let me go from the first one.
Why Nigeria? Question, out of all countries, why Nigeria is attacked?
It was designed like that by nature, because Nigeria by breeding, Nigerian, the original Nigerians, we are breed very strong, and the human race started from Africa, and that race came out from Nigeria. The breed of Nigeria. Every other breed.
Nigerians are not the only Africans. We all know that. So there is one.
Why correct.
Specifically Nigerians. Why are the Nigerians the only ones that are attacked, as you put it?
That is what I'm telling you. The race of black man started from here. So, and that gym of that
the race of black people started in Nigeria.
Black man started in Nigeria.
Yes, the gym of black man is still here in Nigeria.
Where did you read that? Which history books are you reading? Because that's not in our history book.
Hey, these people.
What history books are you reading, Zoven?
Oh, Zoven.
Maybe if you can give us a source and then we can go and read it, because that's not what we've read in our history book. So give us a source, my brother.
What kind of history book do you read in South Africa, man?
No, just give us
history books. Yeah, we get given textbooks, and our history books are relevant to
main character syndrome. There is why Nigeria, guys, will continue to be in shambles. The main character syndrome is killing these people, guys. How are they going to solve the issues if they still embrace and the problems that they are facing and try to solve them with pride and this main character syndrome? I mean, why would Nigeria be the only country in Africa that is attacked? How is Nigeria a threat? How is freeing Nigeria going to free all black men in the world?
Should I answer you? Do you want an answer, or you don't want an answer from me?
No, I just forget about it. Just forget it. Because
Tishomkul, you know, like these guys, they behave like one of those guys that acts rich in public, you know, meanwhile things are not going good at home. And those people end up suffering for the rest of their lives, because as much as they're around people that can help them out and give them opportunities, everyone thinks they are rich. So they end up never, ever receiving help or opportunities from people around them, because they've projected themselves as rich people.
So let's just for anyone with a question they can.
No. I think you should give him a chance to respond to you. I don't agree with what he's saying like 100% unless he clarifies. So
since I asked the question, I asked the question, right? So I'm saying no, I'm fine. The next person can ask.
But we are here to interact with one. You asked me a question. Why not allow me to respond to your question?
I asked question, right?
No, it is not only. No, it is not only by. It is not only you. No, it is not only you. Like,
okay.
I'm no longer interested.
Okay, I'm interested.
Can I take over your question?
I'm interested.
Okay,
I'm interested in the answer to that question. I'm interested in.
I'm allergic to delusions. I'm just so allergic to delusions.
Okay.
You can take the question.
All right, guys. Let's wait. Tishom Kulu, you said you're no longer. I think
I'm no longer interested. I cannot interact with.
Can I take over the question?
Okay, 200 billion wants to take over the question. Okay. Is it the same question? 200 billion.
Take over the question.
Yes, but then I want to alter it so that it gives him like minimal space to be delusional.
All right, go ahead. After then, Vapesi, you can also ask your question. Go ahead, 200 billion.
Okay, Zovin, if Nigerian economy were to be sorted out today, how would that help Jamaica?
Okay, if you listen to my, that's why I said let us try to come to a place where we can be able to listen to each other very well. I said that there is an attack on black people all over the world, and I don't know whether there is an argument on that one. And I told you that the only leading race now who is well bred originally, that has understand it, the majority of those individuals are in Nigerian character, and immediately they liberate that particular this thing that the scarf they put on a black people. Every black man will have equal share, equal partner. For example, we are talking about economy. It is not only economy that they used to know strong countries or strong continents. If you talk about strong continents today, they talk about their soldiers and what they can be able to bring on board.
Let's just say Nigeria is free today. How would that? You said black people in general, so I'm including Jamaica because they're also black that side. And I'm including Jamaica on purpose because I don't want us to conflate issues in Africa and all that stuff. That's why I'm using Jamaica. I'm asking you if, let's just say, mentally, Nigeria is free today. Economically, Nigeria is free today. Just Nigeria, the way that you put it. How would that free a place like, or other people like Jamaicans who are black in Jamaica?
Okay, for example, there's what
practically,
we call
please.
White.
Practically.
Sorry, what do you say?
Practically, can you give a practical?
Yes,
practical answer.
Practically, I'm going to practical reality so that we can understand very well what the only area I'm driving at. Practically, if you see the West, the way they have influence all over the world. Like for example, practical example.
How?
Hold on now. Can you allow me to digress so we understand? Practical example. When there is one American citizen that had criminal problem here in Nigeria, he was detained by Nigerian EFCC for internet fraud and all the rest. And in fact, as at that particular time, it was like last 2 months. As at that particular time, they say what the guy did, what his group did in Nigerian economy, that they didn't stop Nigerian economy so well. But do you know what happened? The guy was arraigned in Nigerian court. American system called Nigerian citizens and tell them to release their citizens. And Nigerian adhered to that particular call because America has so much influence here in Nigeria. If Nigeria was an equal partner, what the American would have done, they would have not ordered Nigeria around to release that particular person. What they would have done.
Wait. Let me be the one to interrupt him.
Hold on, Great Flow.
He's beating around the bush.
How?
Let me say
you don't even allow me to express myself. Finish you.
Zobin, you're not touching the answer, the question at all. You're just going around in circle. He has asked you, give us practical example of how, if Nigeria becomes successful economically, how will it affect Jamaicans? Let's even take Africa away. You said once Nigeria becomes successful, the whole of black race how will it affect Jamaica? That's what he's asking. Practical example.
That's what I'm telling you. That hold on. Now let me answer a practical example.
Yeah,
what are you saying by not being there? Hold on and hear me out. What are you saying? This guy, why are you people like
answer
this?
The question.
I am telling you that if Nigeria is free today and Nigeria is an equal partner, if there is any attack on any black man, if there is any racist, if there is any oppression in any black man, because Nigeria has gotten that partnership in the table, Nigeria has gotten that influence, Nigeria has that character to go and solicit for any oppressed black man in the world. Nigeria has it. Go and check their track record. Nigeria contributed immensely where the black race, where we are today, the type of freedom we are enjoying today. Nigeria contributed immensely. So if Nigeria should be able to progress again in life, I can tell you for sure, Nigeria influence, Nigeria will not stop in their territory alone. Nigeria can go and negotiate any oppressed black people in the world. Nigeria can go there with their influence. That is what I'm telling you. The way Russia, America, and the other Asia countries like China, the way they are doing with their citizens and the people that is attached to their government. Nigeria has that capacity to do that if Nigeria survive as a country.
All right.
That. Nigeria has done that in the past.
Okay. I'm not yet answered, ancestors. I haven't gotten my answer because then I will ask, what is Nigeria doing right now for its own citizens, not Jamaicans, its own citizens?
200 billion. I think I understand your answer and I'll paraphrase it for you. He says, if Nigeria is a strong nation, militarily, it can stand up for the black race all over the world. That's one thing I got from his answer.
Yeah, but the general, even again, why Nigeria? Why only Nigeria? Nigeria is not the only black country. That is another question. Why only Nigeria? It's supposed to be any African country. It's supposed to be any black country that gets it right. Why is it only Nigeria? That's the question.
But he has already told you now that he believes that the human race, not even the black race, the human race started from Nigeria. He said
but this is just a claim. But this is just his claim. This is not true. That is what I'm saying. That is where there is a problem.
But that's
you can't just make
belief.
But it's not true. But it's not true. That is why we are here. That is why we are on this platform. It's not true. Yeah, you can't just make blank statements. Why Nigeria? Why not?
So what? Yeah. Okay, tell us what is the truth.
But can you prove exactly? Can you prove that is false?
Guys, just drop the main character syndrome.
He has to prove that it's true. It's not my duty. He is the one that is
alleged. Syndrome. Drop this.
How can you say if Nigeria gets it? Any African country that gets it right, any black nation that gets it right, I've said it, the rest will fall in line. It doesn't have to be Nigeria. It doesn't have to be Nigeria. Any that gets it right, the rest have to fall in place. So are you saying if Nigeria fails, the whole of Africa fails? No. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You see, this is the problem that we have right now. I mean, other neighboring countries like Niger, and Burkina Faso are letting go of France, yet Tinubu is going there and meeting with the French president. I don't know for what reason. And what I'm trying to say is this, that Nigeria currently is not trying to be there for its own people. And I don't see how, or in how many hundreds of thousands of years, is it going to change that and now all of a sudden not just be for their people but also for other black people there in Jamaica, in Africa, in South Africa, and all other African spaces. So if you're looking at the trajectory of where Nigeria is going and what President Tinubu is doing, which I think is going to last for a very long time, because if he's taking loans and if he's taking loans or he's selling portions of the country to the Europeans, that means we're adding more hundreds of years, of suffering, basically. So I don't see how that will ever happen, And if there's anything, I would even go as far as saying a country like Burkina Faso, where people have a trend of doing something for black people, and honestly so. I would go as far as putting those kind of people in the list of people who would actually be revolutionary to changing what's happening in Africa and not Nigeria.
I totally agree with you. I think someone else want to add something to it. It can't be Nigeria with the way the trajectory doesn't even show that it will be Nigeria anytime soon. IB, go ahead.
Well, for me, first of all, I will say that maybe when I joined, I didn't get the full context of the topic. So, quick feedback to the host: maybe regularly reset the room so that we understand the context, so that we don't digress too much. However,
he has a problem with his network.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So addressing this problem about of Africa and how African unity and everything, I think it's very difficult to achieve that. Is it aspirational to do? Yes, it is. But the question is, how can this happen? If you look at countries or regions or areas where they formed economic alliances of some sort, or try to unify, from Europe to now Asia, North America, South America, and co., you see that there are certain indices that need to align from country to country to make this possible. We already have small economic zones, from SADC to ECOWAS to the East Africa Economic Zone and co, and North Africa and everything. But for Africa to really unite, there are certain things that need to be done. One, we don't even have inter-country travel. You can imagine that it's cheaper to actually travel to Europe from Africa than to travel from one African country to the other. We need interconnectivity, infrastructure, common policies in terms of goals, right? Where are the economic hubs? One thing that we need to understand is that Africa is actually a very, very, very large space, and one of the other challenges that we have, if you look at it, Africa's population doubles every 30 years. So for us to really catch up, we need to invest heavily in education. We need to invest in infrastructure. We need to invest in economic zones where countries have comparative advantage. You take advantage of it. Until all these things are done, right, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to unite as one powerhouse. And finally, I think it's very, very important that we continue to invest a lot in education, for us to educate ourselves and also to know history. Because for you to move forward, you need to know where you're coming from, you need to know your past, and you need to understand it. And the more we understand each other, the better. And that's the way we can move forward. So I'll stop at that. And I think finally I'll say that it's very, very important that we continue conversations, but at the same time, I think it's I don't want to sound negative, but I think each country has its own problems, right? And the truth of the matter is that as a Nigerian, yes, we have challenges. We have a lot of them, and we need to find ways of solving that. And it goes the same way for other countries. But in my own personal opinion, what we are experiencing in Nigeria, as a Nigerian, from Nigeria, living in Nigeria, lived in other countries, we have a lot of work to do. And we need to look more and more inwards to finding ways to solve these problems. And we should also welcome criticisms from others. And wherever there is something wrong, if anyone should say it's wrong, whatever is wrong is wrong, and I'll just stop here. Thanks.
Thank you very much, IB. Does anyone have a question for IB? Do we have a question for IB?
A a brief question. Do you think that the masses in Nigeria need to stand up for us to against the ruling political class, for us to actually achieve this solution that you are talking about?
I think it's a bit more than that. It's not just, even if the masses, go and look at countries where the masses have gotten up and fought the ruling class, you just bring in another ruling class that does the same thing. For example, North Africa, what has happened? Which other countries would you look at that have the same types of uprisings, so to speak? And how has that changed things, right? These are the things that we need to look at very, very well and say, okay, what is the plan? I think a lot of people on this panel have said it very, very clearly. How? We can come out and say all sorts of things, but the question is, how are you going to get it done? And most of the time, we do not have an answer for that. And just a quick one, everyone, if you have the opportunity to read a book, I'll tell you to read a book called A Faith Worse Than Debt by Susan George. She wrote it like 30 years ago, but that book actually explains everything that is happening in Africa and around the world, in terms of different ways of controlling economies. I think it's a very brilliant book, and it will help to contextualize things for a lot of us better. So to answer your question again, what are the different types of uprisings, right? Number one is education. Number two is economic empowerment. How many people are setting up businesses? How many people are employing people, right? How many small businesses can thrive? The more people are economically independent, the more the system begins to change, right? Then there needs to be deliberate efforts in actually questioning government. As long as you sell your votes, and if that's the same way, and one of the biggest mistakes Nigeria made was in 1999. That's where Nigeria's problems got worse. Because what happened was that there was successive military governments where there were different transition programs to transitions to democracy. There was the IBB one that happened from 1986 to 1992. Then the elections were annulled. Then Abacha came in for another 5 years, and he was trying to instill himself as president. So a lot of people or a lot of politicians or people that wanted to come in for the right reasons. In 1999, when the military government came in, or 1998, came in and said, or 97, and said that they're going to hand over May 29th, 1999, a lot of people sat back and said, this is another charade. And what happened was that, pardon my French here, but the wrong set of people got into power. So you can imagine a thug who just decided that, let me jump into this opportunity, jumped in, and stuff worked. And what happened was that the people that could really drive change and were in politics for the right reasons sat out in 1999, and the wrong group of politicians got into office. That is the facts. So all the